I think I got lucky, and there's nothing lucky about COVID. I had COVID in late March, but in late March when the sky was falling, I called our factory representatives on both the Honda and the Acura side, and I bought cars. And I bought cars because I knew the factories were closed down or closing down, and that if there's a shutdown of production, at some point that's going to catch up to us. And thankfully, I was able to get some additional allocation from dealers that had turned down inventory at that time. And again, it's not for any real forethought on my part. I've been through this before. We had this with the crisis in 2008 and 9, and when Cash for Clunkers was coming out, I knew that we needed cars then, and it really worked out well for us. So I went back to the old playbook and said, what should you do? And the old saying is, buy when there's blood in the street. And I said, man, if there's ever blood in the streets, it's now time to buy some cars. And it's really served us well. And I think one of the only reasons we were able to finish so well in June, July, and August is because we had the supply of cars. No supply of cars, you're not going to have those sales and those delivery numbers that we've been able to have.
But the challenge in April and May and June and July is the physical showroom was closed. New York State law had you kind of locked down. You're doing everything at home delivery. Talk to me about that, and then how that kept carrying over. How many did you do last month out of your 704?
April was kind of fun, right? April was a very difficult month. We were closed down. We could only do deliveries to homes. And April, I think it was the month of May, we did 700 transactions without the customers coming to the showroom, delivering the cars to the customers. Now, the 700 for Honda and Acura is less than half of what we're doing today, but we were able to prove out the fact that we could handle volume at scale on pickup and delivery and provide great customer satisfaction to those customers by bringing the product directly to them. And this is nothing new. I mean, Amazon is doing this millions of times a day, and so we shouldn't be surprised. And I think what happened is once the showrooms opened up, a lot of that demand for home delivery dropped down, but it's still at a much higher level than it was pre-COVID. And I think what's happened is COVID has caused everything that was going to happen to be accelerated, probably by the magnitude of 5 to 10 years. I mean, I think we were going in this direction, but dealers and many of us were being forced in that direction. No, they got to come to the showroom. If you want the best price, you got to come in. You want this, you got to come in. And the customers, you couldn't do that, so we were forced to adapt. Sadly, I think many of us have jumped back to the way it was before. I love having customers in the showroom. I love having a busy showroom. But I think if we're thinking expansively, if we don't force the customers to come here, isn't it possible we could do a lot more business? And so that's what I'm spending time in the lab right now, building and tinkering. How do we consider ourselves distributors of transportation and distribute transportation to wherever and whenever our consumers want it?